prime real estate, yeah, the area, the like social group that lives around here now. But
Yeah.
Also, probably, the price of this area is probably too much for.
well, because it used to be ex-psychiatrics and prisoners that used to meet in these houses.
Yeah, so there's
if you
been a
think about-
social switch, right?
Yeah, the social
Yeah.
status change.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's called gentrification, where neighborhoods are,
Gentrification?
Like
so,
gentrifying.
Yeah, so
So gentrification?
Gentrification.
gentrification. Yeah, so neighborhoods like this.
You just
majorly
suggested
cleaned
that.
up. My neighborhood where I live at Broadview and Danforth. Well, I live north, like living right on the subway line there or Trenton. That's been all cleaned up.
Yeah.
And as you go further east, it's starting to move all along the Danforth.
It's like up and coming neighborhoods.
Up and up and coming neighborhoods. So it means that like a lot of homeless folks, a lot of poor folks, a lot of psych survivors and disabled people are being pushed out. Now it's interesting because there's some neighborhoods like Yonge and Eglinton where there's co-ops which are dominated by disabled people. So there are pockets of areas of the city that are very affluent, like Yonge and Eglinton, very, very privileged place to live. But yeah, they have two big co-ops and there's that's where Peter lives. He lives in one of those in the co-op area.
It kind of makes sense because on like ODSP you get up to $457 a month for rent, and that doesn't pay for much.
No.
And
So
the
does
wait
anyone know what
list
the average rent is in Toronto?
$1,100.
For a room or for an apartment?
Yeah.
Rooms are about 5 to 6, I would say, depending on
That's right. And then
But
an
apartment,
apartment,
Like
grand.
1,100, 12.
Yeah,
Between 11
grand
and
to
14?
12.
Yeah. Depending.
yeah, probably.
Like you could
Depending
live
on the neighborhood, downtown's much more. If you go like slightly further out, like East York, which is like
Also, another thing to think about is how long the wait list for subsidized housing is. It's something like 7 years in some areas. I know it's at least 7 years in Toronto. It's something like 4 years in Kingston.
Well, and it's harder for single individuals.
And it's harder for a single. They put a priority for families, specifically women in abuse situations, especially if they have children, and seniors. And if you are by yourself, it's at least 4 years, 2 to 4 years.
So what about the services here? Are there psychiatric services around this area? Is that why or mental health services? Like I'm thinking about if they get pushed out further, how far are they from the actual supports that they need?
right. Yeah. Well, in Toronto, there's services everywhere.
Isn't there like the place on Parliament, like Parliament and Queen? What's that?
Well, there's one at Church.
Sherbourne and Queen.
Church.
Yeah,
Isn't
there's
it like that house, like that big?
It's like a big brown building. It's
Right by
Salvation
George Brown.
Army, and they just
Do you know right behind
Oh
George
yes.
Brown?
Oh, that's what you're thinking of. Salvation Army. Yeah, there's Salvation Army. Sorry.
And like
That is
that gets scary.
rough part. Yeah, that's a rough
Yeah,
part.
that's
Yes.
yeah. When I used to go to George Brown,